So we are going to talk about the ending of Attack on Titan. This is an AOT video more than anything. And so look, King Fritz, Ymir, Eren and Mikasa. So we are now supposed to believe that Mikasa's love for Eren was a parallel to Ymir's love for King Fritz. And they had kind of similar situations, or let's say the situation that Mikasa was going through could be compared and could help Ymir, the founder, get out of the Stockholm syndrome and free herself from the 2000 years of suffering. So no, that's dumb. That doesn't make any sense on any level. Let's just explore both of the love stories here, because people do love stories. What happens here destroys part of the story and lessens the depths we had and tries to sugarcoat something that shouldn't be sugarcoated. So here's the thing, we have Mikasa, a free person. You could say she is not free because of her love to Eren, but that's the love she chose to have, or that's the love she has. But Ymir, on the other hand, didn't receive any love from anyone. Mikasa did receive. She had familiar love. Ymir didn't receive love from anyone. She was attracted to love. As we can see, she wanted to be loved. She wanted a loving family. And she didn't receive any of that love. But then King Fritz and co attack and destroy whatever she had left in her own life. And they do something amazing. They try to kill her because she left the pigs out. And Ymir gets a very extraordinary power, and now King Fritz wants to use her and is giving her affection, but more like sexual attention, and not even attention. He's like, I'm gonna give you my seed. It's not a, let's say, a sexual chemistry thing either. She is feeling not loved by feeling useful more than anything. That's what kept Ymir in there, not the feeling of love. But okay, let's say she was in love with King Fritz because she didn't have a understanding of the concept of love. Okay, then she kept being there, and she kept being there for him, even though he actually, as we were shown, he didn't give a shit about her, and he had mistresses and damsels. She had her babies, and the babies ate her, and when she tried to save King Fritz, and that's that. And she kept being in the path where there is no death and there is no passage of time. If you do even remember, her hands were like this, like she felt like a slave anywhere and anyway, even when she had the highest status and she had the titans, and King Fritz didn't have her as a slave, but she was a slave. Let's just summarize that. We have all seen the AI picture too, by the way. It kind of went viral. I don't know who did that, but I posted a reply and had like 40 bookmarks. You horny people, it's no, not November, boy. What the heck are you doing? Just wait for Destroy Dick December. Bad joke, I know. So here's the thing. This is the situation of Ymir. Then you have Mikasa. Her parents were killed. Eren saves her and puts the scarf, and she starts liking him. Okay, so it goes forward, and she has a family. Lives with the family, Mikasa. They are killed in the assault of the Titans when they breach the wall. Bertolt and Reiner send everyone in, and Eren makes the Titan eat her mother because he couldn't do anything about the Titan, about Dina. Not anyway. Let's just leave that aside. Mikasa chooses to be by the side of Eren. Ymir does that too. But that's the only thing they have in common. Mikasa is doing her of her own free will, and she wasn't hurt by Eren. The only time she was hurt by Eren was that when she had the scar, when Eren couldn't control Attack Titan, the Shingeki no Kyojin, and that's that. Or when he tried to attack Marley, we attacked Marley, and they had to go save Eren, but that's not the same situation as with Ymir. She was there for Eren of her own free will. And it was not that it was a one-sided love either. She probably knows that too. People didn't used to talk about the stuff and don't come clean, let's say, all the time, and that's just normal. But the thing with Ymir and King Fritz, it was a one-sided love, and it was a Stockholm syndrome. It was the first time someone was giving her attention. She was feeling useful, being useful. And you compare the two of them. Eren didn't hurt her as much as King Fritz did hurt Ymir. It's not the same thing. It's not even remotely close. So please explain why the fuck it would make sense for Ymir to follow the life of someone who was following her love out of her own free will. And actually, if it's about letting go of the love, of a toxic love or any kind of love, Mikasa never let go of anything. She was fucking there and she had the scarf on until she died. She was visiting the grave every single time with his family, with the, like, she had a huge family, grandboys, granddaughters, grandchildren, and she was still visiting sons and daughters and a spouse that is probably John, let's say, or anyone. I don't give the smallest shit about that. I don't understand people talking about Mikasa's celibacy too. I'm gonna talk about that in the video. So explain to me, how does this even make sense, and how did Ymir let go of her love when she saw someone letting go of her love, but at the same time being like hugging the beheaded head of Eren while talking to her? How did that make any sense? And she was waiting for someone to tell her that her love was a long nightmare. It took 2000 years and then like 10 more years to see that happen, and suddenly change and decide, yeah, I'm gonna let go of the power of the Titans or whatever and just disappear. Or she was disappearing anyway because Eren was killed and the power of the Titans died with him. But this doesn't give any conclusion to Ymir. I do want you to understand the parallelism between Eren and King Fritz is just plain dumb, and I don't understand why would you want to bet on that. Why would you want to defend that? That's bad writing. Just adding an element of love and romance in the story that, of course, we had Mikasa following Eren, and Eren also liked Mikasa, as we could see by the at least for 10 years sequence. That was amazing, beautiful. I'm not hating on pathetic Eren. Leave the poor boy alone, and don't expect logical reactions from someone that is mentally destroyed. Don't expect him to be like, I'm gonna mourn the many people I killed. They are faceless people. You are not going to feel that much sorry for faceless people you are killing, or even if you do know them, it doesn't have the same impact at that moment, and you can't actually expect him to be logical and rational. Just friendly reminder, it's a broken man and acts in a broken way. You can't be like, yeah, why is he mad about Mikasa? He should be mad about the people he is killing. You are right, but he's not in his right own mind, and he says he is in a bad state that is confusing this present, future, and okay then. So the love stories are not the same. There is no parallelism. If it's about not letting go of a love and suddenly Mikasa is letting go of her love for Eren, that she does not. She just kills her and she doesn't let go of anything. I do feel sorry for the poor spouse that had to accompany Mikasa to the grave of the beloved person that Mikasa probably, when she had his head, had some necro action on her vajayjay. I'm sorry for the colorful language, because the road was long, you know, and the head was there, you know. If she is okay with kissing the murdered head of Eren, severed head of Eren, she probably was okay with doing other stuff and just let's say bringing it down. I saw a gif, I'm not gonna talk about the gif, it was bro. So if the only requirement for Ymir was to see one of the Eldians letting go of a love, I'm pretty sure over the course of the 2000 years there were many better suited people, and we didn't need a genocide to get to that point. So Ymir needed the genocide to happen for the most generic thing to happen, that is letting go of a love, so she could be free of her love, of her Stockholm syndrome, of her toxic love for King Fritz, and to suddenly decide to love her offsprings, her let's say the ones that came from her children, from herself, instead of King Fritz. The same very children and grandchildren, and just go forward, nieces, whatever, I forgot the terminologies, that she allowed to be massacred. The same people. And somehow Eren freeing her and giving her freedom wasn't enough to let go of the love. She had to be freed in that way, so a genocide would happen, and then she would come to love the 80%, or let's say the 20% left of the population of the world, not just her either, not the aliens either. She would come to love herself or her offsprings again. This is some fuckery that you have to be pretty dumb to accept as a resolution to the story. Ymir being reincarnated as Historia's child and just everything going as the manga would have made much more sense than what we have here. The parallelism between Ymir and Historia are much more bolder, and they are highlighted in the fucking story too. But it's not executed for some reason. Probably AoE. Will happen. My honest opinion on that, and I do defend that 100% will happen. But Mikasa doesn't have much in common with Ymir. She does not. And if you want to say, hey, family was killed, but she was in a foster family that was okay. She had friends, she had support. She was a beast, she was strong. Ymir was too, but people respected Ymir, or let's say feared her for the abilities we had for the Titans. Mikasa was beloved and she was strong. The ones that hated her were the people the enemies that got in their way, but Ymir's power itself was actually a source of fear. You can't compare the two of. Sure, Ackermans are a byproduct of Titan science, as Zeke I think mentioned that, or it was the conversation that Kenny was having. I'm not sure about that, but this is not a good comparison. It doesn't make any sense. Just stop it with that. Just do accept that was bad writing, or that was just common love tropey, and don't try to delve much deeper into it if you are if you're trying to defend it. Or actually, please do. You will probably get to the same resolution and conclusion we had. So that was the video I had to make on this issue, and more videos incoming on the Attack on Titan finale. Thank you very much, and I hope you had a nice day, and we'll have a nice day. And we'll see you. شبتون بخیر. روزتون بخیر.